Hey, good morning. Good to be back with you. Last night I was just thinking about when I first started riding a bike, and that was many years ago. And I started riding with a group right here in Powell. And we would go out on Saturday mornings, and I can remember riding 25 miles and coming back home and thinking how that was a little bit out of my comfort zone. And we were riding fast and hard, but I really felt good about that. And then pretty soon we were riding 30 miles. And I can remember on some Friday nights thinking about getting up early on Saturday and riding that, and how, maybe even a little fearful about it being out of my comfort zone. And again, I knew we would be riding fast and hard. I was probably 40 pounds at the time, and one of the older guys in the group, and thinking about keeping up. So it was just about being out of my comfort zone, and would I be able to keep up and achieve and just, feel the confidence on the ride. But each time I got home, I felt good about being out of my comfort zone, staying up, accomplishing a good ride. And then before we knew it, we were riding 30 and 40 miles. And then I remember the morning when we said that we're going to ride up to Prospect. And that was 24 miles up and 24 miles back. And again, depending on the loop, it could be 50 miles or even as much as 52 miles. And we'd ride it hard, we'd ride it fast, and each time, it might be 17 miles an hour, but, we might strive for 18. Again, out of my comfort zone. And yet when I got home, I always felt so good about that ride. And then I remember the day that we were going to ride 100 miles. And I can remember being in bed on a Friday night, knowing we were going to get up the next morning and take off real early. And I knew that this would take me way out of my comfort zone. And I was actually fearful about it. Am I going to be able to keep up? Am I going to be able to keep that hard pace? But got up the next morning, got on that bike, and when I got into the rhythm of it and felt good and with the group, at the end of that day, we had accomplished that 100-mile ride, and I was able to keep up, sometimes getting up there to the front of the pack, not often, but felt great about it. And the whole point of this is that we never really achieve anything in life unless we're out of our comfort zones. And each day, if we could just find a little something that would take us out of that comfort zone, it's always building a little more confidence about what we can do. It's taking a hard look at our own weaknesses and knowing that what can we do to really challenge ourselves to overcome those weaknesses, in our life. So I just leave you with this question. What's standing in your way of your own personal development and growth? Name it. Put it in a journal, write it, answer that question. What's standing in your way of success and your own personal development? What do you fear? And whatever it is you fear, just take a little bit of it and go after it. I know one thing. I can remember on a ride, we decided to ride to Michigan, Traverse City, Michigan, over 3 days. It was 470 some miles. And I can remember one day riding over 152 miles. That's almost 13 hours, as we say, in the saddle on a bike. And sometimes when I feel like I'm out of my comfort zone and I feel like I'm not going to be able to maybe achieve this, I will often think back to that day and just how difficult that was in the middle of August, 95, 98 degree heat. But I can remember when that day was done, I thought, man, if I can accomplish this, I can accomplish anything in my life. So it's a little something to look back on. And I'm sure you have that in your life too. So what's standing in the way of you achieving what it is that you want to achieve? So take a hard look at that. I hope you've had a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. This is Pete Kunk with Built to Lead. Take care.